Hey there, fellow gamers. It's your boy, once again, the Ramblin' Manager, with another track tonight. I saw some sort of random article. I only read like the first couple sentences in regards to a remake slash remaster of Crisis Core, Final Fantasy being released, and they're talking about how because it's a 15-year-old game here, it shows just how far like the gaming world has grown in terms of animation or how we build the worlds or whatnot. I just thought to myself that, well, yeah, you could say that, but even then, there's still a bunch of fucking games here from 15, 20 years ago that still hold up well to this day. And chief among those are like Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, if you know their amazing character development, storytelling, environments, everything. Like, the foreshadowing of the world itself in Metal Gear Solid 2, or how, in my eyes, in my opinion, Metal Gear Solid 3 is the perfect prequel. But as I was talking to myself, like the wackadoo that I am, I thought back to like some like the amazing features they added and that fed into themselves into the gameplay loop, and how they did it right to some extent as opposed to other games. I thought to myself like how San Andreas kind of handled the whole food system kind of poorly, and how if you didn't feed CJ enough times, you'll start losing like all those muscle gains that you had throughout the game, and you could eventually starve yourself and even fucking die because your health will just start depleting. It was a rather poor example of implementing of a system that kind of like bogged down the gameplay and kind of ruined it. Another example would probably be Metal Gear Survive. With I never played it, but from what I saw, they added like food and stamina systems, and it was kind of good first. But then you had an annoying AI like talk to you in the background, like, "Oh, your water levels are low. Please drink something to refill them and regain hydration," or some bullshit like that. I don't know. I always told myself I never play Survive, mostly because of the simple fact it's an always online game. It's like if Konami would ever shut the servers down, you'd never be able to access the game. So you paid $40 for fucking nothing. Plus, the only way I'd actually play is if I use mods to just cheat at and mod in Venom Snake, make it his game. But I was thinking back to Metal Gear Solid 3 and how they implemented, the stamina system, and to that regard, the weight system. It kind of became a more prominent feature in the later games in regards like Metal Gear Solid 4 having a weight system, like limited amount of items you can have on you as well, down to 5. Probably because like Snake's a lot older in that one, and then Peace Walker had something similar. Although I don't think it really impacted you that much in terms of movement speed or whatever. But if you were naked or wore speedos, you would move quicker. So it got me thinking that if there was ever a remaster, if I could go back to change up the gameplay. Oh yes, you know what it is. A gaming what if. I always thought I kind of just thought to myself just now that it would be nice if, similar to like Mass Effect, there was like benefits to just reducing the load on Snake as much as you fucking can. Because a game like Metal Gear Solid 3, I played that game to hell and back. I played it multiple times. At least a dozen fucking times across PS2 and PS3. No doubt in my mind, I've played through that game with literally just one handgun. I think an 8 kilogram Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun. And nothing in like the second slot. Like no extra equipment whatsoever, unless I absolutely need it. Like a cigar to light the place up, or night vision goggles to illuminate the area. But beyond that, I would always unequip the secondary function. I didn't need radar. I didn't need the cardboard box or the fake death pill, because by my 10th playthrough on like normal difficulty, I knew where every single fucking soldier was. I knew what to anticipate. I knew what to fucking do. I didn't have to worry about fucking, life messing me, because Snake had built in health regeneration somehow. So all I had to do was just, try not to take damage and take it slow, and boom, there I go. Besides, I'd always cheat in that one area after you had that, like, Ocelot fight with his soldiers and like the Snake Eater act. I would just run up to like that swamp area. I keep running into like that log with the spikes on it like an idiot, even if I had like my comrades call me in and call me a fucking idiot. I kept running into it because every time I'd heal myself halfway, I get a health boost. So I was totally prepared for that. But anyway, sorry, I'm fucking rambling. Um, my idea was that for Metal Gear Solid 3, if you were, a badass enough and you just had one gun on you, there should be benefits for reducing the load on Snake's person. And technically speaking, there is kind of a system like that because, the more items you have on you, like if I read correctly or if I experienced it correctly, it would cause your stamina to drain more. It wouldn't be uncommon, like depending on if you were doing a New Game Plus and you had the sneaking suit equipped, you would still have like half of a stamina bar by the time you got to the mountain. That was going from like the beginning of Operation Snake Eater up to like the mountain bit after you fought the end. Like it wasn't that hard to manage your stamina. You could literally just go through the whole game without eating anything, especially if you used like the moss camo from the end. But anyway, fuck. Um, there was obviously a benefit in the base game to like having as little items as possible because it would reduce your overall stamina drain, but there should be more benefits beyond that. And an idea would be increased movement speed, similar to like Mass Effect 3 with the weight system, depending on like how many weapons you have on you, like a percentage bonus to how quickly your shit recharges. Something like that for Metal Gear Solid 3. I think I said in like a fucking a video in the past about like weight mechanics and how they can improve your movement speed. I'm a movement speed fanatic. I love just going fast. I blame Elder Scrolls Oblivion for that. But obviously it shouldn't be anything drastic. It should be like a 10-15% boost at most. And, like depending on how much equipment you have on you through camouflage, maybe you should get like a reduction as well for being naked, but that was obviously added in fucking Peace Walker. But yeah, you should get a movement speed increase. Just imagine like that extra movement speed could help, speed runners or maybe close the gap on the enemy a little bit quicker. It could even help you with like movement speed when you're like slow walking. It could help you out a fuck ton. Maybe from there, because you have even less equipment, like you should even have a benefit for even slower stamina drain because Snake has way less shit on him, so he's a lot more relaxed out in the field. But beyond that, I mean, the extra movement speed could help with like strafing. Maybe you'll have like a higher chance of like dodging bullets, maybe because he has less weight restricting him. He'll be able to dodge shit a whole lot easier, or maybe have even faster aiming to be able to like draw his gun quicker, or snap the targets easier through the lock on. Just some minor shit to like promote, using only one gun or two, or just having very little items as possible. Because again, I know like anybody that's played Metal Gear Solid 3 or any Metal Gear Solid game in general, we've done it. We've gone through the whole game with just one fucking gun. Reminds me of Assassin's Creed 2, just the single hidden blade run. Those type of runs are rather exhilarating if you love the game enough, and there should be a benefit for you, limiting yourself in terms of equipment. But also beyond that, if they do decide to remaster, I just hope they add in some shit from like the fucking DS port they had, because I didn't even know this for the longest time. I didn't know the DS port had some shit from like Metal Gear Solid 4 with like the third person camera aiming and like the crouch walking. That shit would have been fucking amazing for keeping some camouflage and mobility at the same time. Would have been awesome. I'm not asking for like the camouflage system from the DS where you can just go up to a surface, like click the camera and boom, that camouflage is automatically applied to Snake. No, I'm not asking for that. If anything, I still like just the basic fucking system, as cumbersome as it is. But I mean, it's not too bad. I don't mind it. But maybe like an extra what if maybe have like an extra item, right? Like if there was like actual weight to the camouflages, like maybe make it so that there's like an item you can have, right? Where it's like a costume swap or like on the fly. And let's just say you have it present to like one extra camouflage, it just swaps. Like, say you're wearing the black camouflage because you're on mud, so it gives you a camouflage boost. And you go up to like some sort of like red, raw, brick-like surface, and you gotta swap out your camouflage immediately so you don't blow your cover. You can just have an item equipped where you just hold the R2 button, press circle, and boom, it just automatically swaps out your camouflage in an instant. Obviously, with like technology nowadays, with how fast it is, and like, just the speed itself in general, you can have something like that happen in real time through the menus. It'd be fucking awesome to have something like that. That could be a nice fucking item. Just so you don't have to worry about, going into the menus and having to swap the camouflage like that. It could be very fucking interesting. I could just have like my two favorite camouflages on the fly. I can have, the sneaking suit for like general fucking, gameplay. And then if I have to refill my fucking stamina, boom, I can just swap straight over to the fucking moss camouflage, hang out in some sunlight for a couple seconds, and boom, there you go. It's shit like that that could be really fucking interesting, in my opinion. Huh, how about that? You got too many what ifs today. How about that? But I don't know. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I did like some of the features that were introduced in Metal Gear Solid 3, but I wish they could like expand upon it a little bit more. Now I'm thinking about it, mostly just to appeal to my fucking speed nut craze and all that shit. Maybe adding beverages, like in terms of like the whole survival element, maybe they could just like, expand upon it. Let there be like both like a food and water meter that can both contribute to like the overall stamina. Maybe you can gain benefits to it. Who knows? But anyway, that's just a relatively short video. Eh. But yeah. If anything, I just hope there's a fucking remaster of Metal Gear Solid 3 at some point. Like, even though there's rumors of a fucking remake, I just think that's a game that's fine as is. Just fucking give me the fucking remaster. Give me a proper fucking port, because I know, like, it will run on modern systems. God forbid when Metal Gear Solid 2 was released on GOG after all these years and then promptly delisted. It ran flawlessly on my computer. Mine's like practically prehistoric at this point. 4 core, like a 4790K, 1080 Ti, ran it flawlessly. 60 FPS, 2K, quotations, max settings. So Metal Gear Solid 3 shouldn't even have a fucking problem running on even a decade old computer. God damn it, Konami, give me my fucking game back. Please. I want to climb the fucking ladder again in glorious 2K 60 FPS. What a thrill. That's more of my friend Schnick. Anyway, that's all for now. Usual YouTube chant. Let me know what your favorite childhood game is, or like what type of features you would love to see added into Metal Gear Solid 3. But beyond that, the Ramblin' Manager's clocking out for now. Y'all still stay safe. Bye.